If you would have asked me 20 years ago where I would be living the rest of my life, without a doubt, I would have said Texas. Not maybe, not possibly, for sure, I would have said Texas. Never would I have envisioned living anywhere else but Texas. So why did I leave? I grew up in a small town called Elsa, Texas. It was a community called Elsa. I spent the first 3-ish decades of my life in that area. But just it was amazing. It was great. Eventually, I moved to Austin, Texas for an opportunity. Eventually, moved down to San Antonio, Texas for another opportunity, and then ended up back in McAllen, Texas, which is all in the McAllen and Elsa in the Rio Grande Valley. I loved it. I loved the food. I love the culture. I love the people. I love access to South Padre Island, to Mexico. I can't say how many times we crossed the border and just had great dinners, had great times. How many times I went to South Padre Island to just go fishing or, jet skiing, things like that. There's nothing better than, to me, fishing in South Padre Island. It is great to go fishing in South Padre, and I loved it so much. I was very fortunate to have friends that were like siblings to me. I was very fortunate to have cousins that were like siblings to me, aunts and uncles that were like parents. They helped raise me. I just loved it all in South Texas. So if I loved it so much, why did I leave? Like many first-time parents, I had my first daughter, which I thought I was just going to have all sons. So in my life, I envisioned a life of football. First of all, Texas football you just can't beat Texas football. The pride, the fun. And so I just love that aspect of Texas, all the way from South Texas all the way to Dallas, every which way Texas football is amazing. But here I am. I had my first daughter, and right away a second daughter is coming, and I just panicked. I'm having daughters. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to raise two girls. So like a lot of first-time parents, I was anxious. I was nervous. And so I got down on my knees one night, and I said, Lord, just guide me. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. I didn't ask to send me somewhere else. I just asked to give me direction. And I said, God, take the wheel. I won't question you. If you want me to move, I'll move. If you want me to get a new career, I'll get a new career. Whatever you want me to do, I will do, Lord. I'm going to follow your lead. And right away, an opportunity came up in Phoenix, Arizona. I said, come on, Arizona, like it's hot. And the little that I knew of Arizona was that it's hot 12 months out of the year, and all of Arizona is hot. That's the little that I know about Arizona. I didn't look into it. I didn't do much research. I said, okay, I accepted the opportunity, packed up all my stuff. My best friend David and I got in my truck. I had a rental truck. I had a rental company take all my other stuff, or a moving company take all my other stuff. So just David and I had to bring all my pets and my other vehicle. That's all we had to do. When we got to Phoenix, Arizona, I said, hey, Dave, wake up. We're here. And he wakes up and he looks around and he's like, why is everything so brown? The buildings are brown. The houses are brown. There's no grass. It's just all brown compared to like being in Texas. And it was hot. And, it was kind of depressing. People are not out. People are not as friendly. It was mid-June, so it was about 110, 115. And I quickly began to regret what I had done. But I was like, Lord, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to do whatever you want me to do. I had other opportunities as well. And so I was kind of traveling quite a bit and just some severe depression, having two girls, kind of cooped into a hot house, 3 dogs, 2 cats. It was like cabin fever, the opposite of cabin fever. It was just terrible, and I started to regret what I had done. But again, I trusted the Lord, and in a matter of time, it all just became clear. Arizona is where I belonged. It's an amazing state. There's a lot to do. It's a small state. Football is not as popular as it is in Texas. But what it has these beautiful towns like Sedona, Arizona. It's got Flagstaff, Arizona. It just has all these different things that I just never envisioned that were for my personality. And so after a couple of years in Arizona, we decided to buy a second home. We bought a log cabin in Flagstaff, Arizona. A log cabin in Arizona. I would have never guessed that was even a possibility. We were in 7,000 elevation. It was snow quite a bit. We would drive up there and just live this mountain life. And it was amazing. It was great. I was like, God, you knew what I wanted. You knew I always wanted a log cabin where I can throw go cut some wood, throw in a fire, sleep by a fire, just cozy up in a wooden cabin. I just thought that was going to be Colorado or somewhere in Washington, somewhere upstate New York. But Arizona was a perfect fit. God knew what I wanted. God knew what I needed. I will not question him again. I still love Texas. Texas has my heart. It always will. I go back 3 times a year. I go back for some festivals, Night in Old San Antonio. I go back to see my parents. I love to go back and do a race at South Padre Island. I love Texas, but Arizona's home. I'm not saying Arizona's home forever, but Arizona's home for now. I'm wondering, have you ever made such a bold move and did it pay off? Or did it not pay off? I love Arizona. I'm here to stay for at least another 5 years till my daughters leave school. Again, thank you for listening. I was thinking about this today because my daughter turned 14 yesterday, and as soon as my daughter was born in Edinburgh, Texas, the next day I packed up and left. And so I guess this is my 14-year anniversary in Arizona. So I was just thinking out loud, Pensando Out Loud. If you get a chance, hit subscribe, hit like. Thank you for listening. Let me know in the comments if you've ever done anything as bold as move your entire family 1,200 miles. Thanks. Take care.